the sound means death. America is on the brink of annihilation. The War of 1812 was a strange and at times an illogical affair. Its reasoning was muddled.
The first war,
a childish nation, which, but for the grace of God and a few soldiers, sailors, Marines, almost never has the chance to reach maturity.
Britain does not recognize the right of any of its citizens to renounce nationality. And so they reply with the...
But it backfired, hurting U.S. ports more than it did British trade.
...to the national feeling.
But impressment reflects a more extensive...
The British are the reason.
At just 4 inches tall and only 100 pounds, a pygmy as one political foe described him, President James Madison is a slight man.
Not very impressive physically. Short, he's known as Little Jemmy. Kind of a cold fish.
In the crosshairs. There is no turning back.
The American military is practically impotent. Actually, they're more of a danger to themselves than to the enemy.
The American people are viewed as unsophisticated, disorganized, and unrealistic. Canada.
What are they thinking? We've got 7.5 people in the United States.
Mackinac Falls, Dearborn Falls, Detroit Falls with virtually no resistance.
Detroit, 2 men surrender without firing a single musket. The non-existent U.S. Navy. Napoleon. Vice Admiral Cochrane.
I want to give the enemy a complete drubbing before it's all over.
Americans should be treated like a naughty spaniel. That is to say, if it snaps at you, you hit it on the nose.
Game to Admiral Coburn.
What the devil will they do here?
Most of the British soldiers under Ross are veterans of the peninsula. They expected more from Yankee Doodle.
They run so fast that the Redcoats suffer heat stroke trying to keep up with them.
But the militia ran like sheep chased by dogs.
George Bush on 9/11.
All while modeling the latest fashions.
Risk our lives for a painting.
The White House. President Madison's love letters. With little warning, one of the most powerful hurricanes in its history hits Washington. Lightning splits clouds open as gale-force winds tear through the city.
Out of nowhere comes this uncanny storm, which not only dumps a tremendous torrential downpour, but it rages against this British column.
One redcoat recalls the fury of this perfect storm.
Our column was completely dispersed, as if it had received a total defeat. Some of the men flying for shelter behind walls and buildings, and others falling flat upon the ground to prevent themselves from being carried away. Such was the violence of the wind that 2 pieces of cannon were fairly lifted from the ground and borne several yards away.
What has started out as a blessing is about to become a catastrophic event of epic proportions. As the hurricane wreaks destruction throughout the burning city, a tornado suddenly appears from the sky and shears through the center of the capital.
Like the wrathful hand of God from the Old Testament.
And the president condemns the British as damned rascals to relocate the capital to Philadelphia, but he refuses. The post office, the only government building spared.
And we must be worse than stupid.
His job is to grab them by the lapel.
Smith represents a more direct threat to his authority than the British.
I'm telling you how the cabbage gets chewed. And at that point, it's done deal.
We are ready, except that we have no suitable ensign to display over the fort.
Undaunted, British Commander Major General Robert Ross, flush from his overwhelming "I don't care if it rains, militia." He will soon regret those words. Run like sheep chased by dog.
Let alone in the dark.
He fired the ball.
Then dies.
The tragic death of Ross were in something of a quandary.
Chink in its armor. To a lawyer,
Stricker knows his business.
Surprise.
And there will be many broken heads tonight. This is the most powerful, destructive force known to man.
But before they can leave, and they're trapped.
Rocked by these two.
Moments later, a bomb.
But the Americans fall for the ploy. He he orders a retreat.
Silence.
The enemy has been severely drubbed.
Something is about to happen.
A most superb and splendid ensign on the battery.
Never before.
And does not such a country and such defenders of their country deserve a song?
A popular British drinking song.
Yet wave of the brave.
That Papa, hussars.
An alarming idea. Secession's indomitable will, battle-hardened guts, and fiery temperament.
I trust I shall.
The President of the United States, James Madison. Perish in the effort.
And Andrew Jackson was determined, I think, to burn the city himself.
It's a mistake they will soon regret.
So they have to hit the American lines, hit them hard, break the line, and get through.
Shall not sleep.
Flash, flash, flash.
They are mere toys to amuse children.
Is aggressive, but it's too complicated.
Blunders.
Press your lines. Are near enough now, gentlemen. You may fire when ready.
Break them!
The Capitol goes wild.
I'm telling you how the cabbage gets chewed.
Yankee Doodle.